Hey, it's Cheryl Barr from CherylBarr.com. Do you long to travel but think you can't afford it? Well, stick with me because I have a special guest and we're going to talk about how to be a travel hacker. Here we are, we're in Germany, and I thought it was appropriate that I introduce you to my husband, John Cabe. And John is our travel hacker. John, what's your definition of travel hacking?
Travel hacking is a strategy whereby you utilize frequent flyer and hotel loyalty programs to gather enough points to get free travel, hotel rooms.
Okay, so how would somebody get started if they don't know anything about how to use these credit cards and the mileage program so they can start saving for a trip of their dreams? And let's say that somebody wants to go to Europe, like we did,
Okay.
for example.
First thing to do is join the loyalty programs, both on for your preferred airline, which would probably be from the airline most utilized by your local airport, and a hotel family that you prefer. There's like 4 of them. Get 1 or 2 of those, 1 or 2 airlines, but no more. Then the second component is to get co-branded credit cards. Co-branding means, for example, you get a United Airlines credit card through Chase, and you want to get 1 for each airline loyalty program that you have, and also for each hotel. A further enhancement of this is if you have a business, you can get a business card too. Now, each one of these credit cards have a minimal activity within a certain period of time, which means you have to charge, say, $1,000 in 2 months or $3,000 in a half a year, and you definitely want to pay attention to that. Once you have succeeded in that, that credit card can be set aside to be canceled, perhaps before the annual membership is due.
There's a fee
Something like
for
that.
each year that you're a member. So if there is, you want to use it during that time frame they require and spending value, and then put it away. So you don't want to incur any more debt, like you said.
One of the things that some cards do is that for certain categories of purchases, they will have have a multiplier effect on a bonus, such as if you just use a card for your groceries, you'll get 2-3 times the miles. So you want to pay particular attention to that. But the real key on getting the miles to go to Europe is to use multiple credit cards, to initiate multiple credit cards over time. If you want to go to Europe, you're not going to do that in 6 months. It'll probably take 1.5 to 2 years to gather up enough miles, but it'll be a free trip.
So how many miles was it for us to use on this trip?
I went through American Airlines, which is another point that each of these airlines, these domestic airlines, have a very number of partners that they can utilize, and you can fly. You'll be assigned tickets on those partner airlines for the best connections. And we spent 135,000 miles, each of us, to get from Portland, Oregon to Marseille. And then it was an open jaw ticket, which means you don't have to fly back from the same place. We are returning, again, first class from Berlin to Portland, Oregon.
So that's a lot of miles, 130,000. So that was for Europe. That's to fly here.
Right.
And as John said, it's a much better value. Now, we're flying first class. So how did you manage to get first class? What would it have been for a coach ticket?
Quite honestly, I don't know. But I think it would be like 60 or 90,000.
So less.
It would be much less. One of the things is the days of getting an upgrade on frequent flyer miles are pretty much over with. The airlines have taken upon themselves to give those bonuses to their loyal flyers that have like 1 million miles, etc., which are considered to be hard miles. These programs, the strategies that we're talking about today, are called soft miles. And again, to get 135,000, well, if you were given a bonus of 30,000 for each sign up on cards, did the math, it would take 4 credit cards for each of us over 1 to 2 year period, and then spending in between. Basically on spending, I might have said this, but anything that's over $10 we put on the credit card. And there'll be multiple credit cards. We probably move through the credit cards every 4 to 6 months. We have another credit card. Again, I set it aside and then cancel it possibly before the annual fee comes up, definitely before the second one would be there.
Okay, so I want to clarify. One is that if you are flying coach, if you are and which we've done many times, frequent flyer miles, flying coach, it's not going to take you as long.
Correct.
Now, there's another tip that you have booked for us 1 year out. And these go fast. If you are like us, he's an extreme travel hacker, so he's always on it. We're always tracking our miles, or John is. So we know we're planners out in the future. So we knew we wanted to come here. And I know that we've done this in the past when we've flown to Bhutan and other places. You're looking a year out to grab us some seats, like whether it's economy or whatever, because there's serious travel hackers out there like us, and we are going to get those seats a year out and then they're gone. There might be a limited number of those seats.
Yes, the airlines are fluid in their numbers, but usually you figure about 10% of the seats are reserved for their frequent flyers. But that can be less than that or more than that, depending on the popularity of the line. The airlines put out their seats at about 330 days ahead of departure. I just read an article that said the best time is 257 days out, but clearly the early bird gets the worm. And if you wanted to change, say you do like we do, around 330 days, we are looking every day, every other day to see when it pops up, and then you know your itinerary and you put it in, and you usually get it. If you wait until 6 months out, then you're probably not going to get it.
So, and one of the things you do for us is that we put our personal expenses, groceries, medications, things like that on a certain card because we're really working that card. You will hand me a card because this is kind of your job in our partnership family here. You'll say, okay, now we're going to use this card for groceries and this one is for medications or whatever. And then you'll take the card I had and you'll put that away because we probably hit our requirements, okay?
Minimal
so you've gotten another card with that particular airline that's given you and me 30,000 or 25,000 miles, and now we're going to use that card for the miles. So that's how we do it. We do not incur any more debt at all. We're just simply using, instead of cash, instead of checks, any of the debit cards, we're using these cards for anything we need to buy, and that's getting us miles.
I probably go online about every 4 months to look at the promotions. So 25,000, 30,000 is pretty standard. But on occasion, you'll find 50,000, 70,000 miles. Not that many points for hotels, but you can find those on occasion. And when they pop up, you want to grab them. Even though you're not necessarily needing that, you want to grab them, use the minimal buy, set it aside, cancel it later. Some people worry about their FICO scores, but really it'll cost you 4 to 6 points to apply and cancel a card, but that's only like for 6 to 9 months. So it really is minimal. It's talked about a lot, but if you have a good credit score over 700, it doesn't matter.
Okay. On this trip, for example, we're staying in hotels about 7 nights. So we've stayed with friends. We're here in Germany staying with friends. We've stayed in various hotels, all free, using points. I mean, this trip, I can't wait to see. It's probably food and incidentals and things like that. But this trip's really not costing us that much money. And how would someone start with the credit cards and the hotels?
Okay, the hotel loyalty programs are similar to the airline programs in that getting there is the same thing. You join the loyalty program of your preferred. And to be honest with you, there are 3 big ones, Starwood and Marriott. Yeah. There are others, but they're not as inclusive around the countries. Notice I said countries because really hotel programs, unless you get a bare bones minimum stay in the United States, you want to use these to get the most value at expensive cities like New York, San Francisco, Chicago, or more preferably overseas. Depending on your loyalty level, and sometimes just by signing up for the card, you'll get bumped up to a loyalty level. Loyalty levels are designed for the frequent traveler who is paying, and this is the hotel family's way to ingratiate themselves to them. However, as a card holder, you're able to get up 1 or 2 levels, and it gives you some perks. But that's not a big driver here. The big driver is cities are expensive. Hotels in these cities are very expensive, and just use points. I recently read that if you were to compare airline frequent flyer programs versus hotel family loyalty programs, the hotels win out for the value in their points.
That's interesting.
And I should say that unlike the airlines, which are dealing with only a couple classes of seats, hotels, and I think we all know that there's varying classes of hotels, you'll pay more in points to stay at nicer, bigger, better ones. And those are your choices. Again, the big value, if you're just looking for a place to sleep, is the lower quality, which are still good hotels. And it'll get you a lot further using your points than staying at the best hotel in that city.
Right. I have my business so I can travel and keep my business going. And I put on a workshop over here for 10 English-speaking German women. It's very fun for me to visit other cultures and meet other women and people. So if you're interested in this and you want to be a travel hacker, let us know and give us your questions. So thanks, John.
Yes, if I may add one more thing.
Sure.
Go online. Google search travel hacking. There are multiple websites concerning this.
Like what websites?
Chris Gilbo has one. There's one that's called Point Sky. Likewise, for getting a card, there are multiple websites for the best airline travel card. It'll be under travel cards. Not necessarily hotel cards or airline cards, but use travel cards, and you can just roll through them. When you scroll down, you find that hotel program that you're looking for, and click on them. You can compare up to 4 or 6, what have you. You can even apply online. They get a little cut on that, but it doesn't matter. It's convenient, and everything can be done internet. Everything from signing up for the loyalty program, signing up for the credit card, canceling the credit card, paying your monthly bill. It's all internet based and so easy.
So if you like this video and you want to know more, we could do another one. We could do an advanced travel hacking. And we'd like to know your questions because I'll bring John on as a guest because this really is an important part of our lifestyle. And thanks again for watching.